And next online, we have with us a speaker, a sprinter, and a thinker, Mr. Karan Datta, who actually got himself freed from the corporate world and started pursuing his own passion. He is consented to come here with us and share his experience and knowledge. And he is going to talk about the theme itself, the 3C, and the importance of the 3Cs. Over to you, Mr. Karan Datta.
Namaste team IFA Galaxy. First of all, thank you very, very much for inviting me over for your annual conference. I must say that IFA Galaxy is one of those annual events which I've always looked forward to. It's been a regular feature in the mutual fund industry, and there are two reasons why I've always looked forward to it. A, the enthusiasm with which the annual conference is conducted, and B, the quality of the speakers have always impressed me the most. And I remember coming in while I was at Axis and other places, coming in regularly, being a member of the conference. This year, of course, it's all digital and it's a change, but that's fun as well. So with that little background, and for the fact that you all have invited me as a speaker, I'm really, truly honored and obliged. And when Babu called me up and said that, would you be a speaker on this event? I mean, without even hesitating, I said, yes, of course. Why would I not be? After all, it's the most important annual event for the industry. And on top of that, he also mentioned the theme, which is for this event, for the event this year. It just resonated with me very deeply. The 3Cs, which is consolidation, conviction, and collaboration. I mean, I cannot tell you how much I believe in all of those 3Cs. It's not because I'm here as a speaker. It's just that each of them have been really thought through very, very well. And each of them are a sign of maturity, because I think the industry has reached a stage where we can all afford to think of these 3Cs. And I must compliment the team at IFA Galaxy for choosing these 3Cs. And when I thought about, speaking about the 3Cs, it was very easy for me to put some thoughts together and kind of say that, okay, this is what I want to talk about. And like I said, it's a reflection of perhaps where we are in the journey of the mutual fund industry, both as manufacturers and as distributors. So I'm going to start with the first C that I was given to talk about. My first C out of the 3Cs is conviction. And I want to start with a story. It's my personal story. The first story is about conviction. As I speak to you, I'm no longer associated in the professional world, as in like I'm no longer employed. I don't work. At 2 years ago, at the age of 48, I decided to leave the corporate world simply because there was immense conviction in the world of investing. So I'm going to start the first C, conviction, with my personal story, thereby highlighting that whatever I speak from here onwards is also an example where I'm kind of sharing things that have gone on with me. So the first C, conviction. I could walk out of the corporate world simply because I was exposed to the world of mutual funds for 25 long years. I understood the power of equities. I understood that it can create wealth. And I also understood that if I have a good distributor, MFD advisor by my side, it will help me with my journey. And so here I am now at 2 years ago, gave up the corporate world. Now at age 50, truly enjoying life, doing what I really feel like doing, and not necessarily, kind of stressed out about new targets and new business, etc., etc. I'm like doing my own stuff, kind of really enjoying life. Where did that come from? It didn't just suddenly come out of the blue. It came out of sheer conviction that if I invest well in the equity space and in the fixed income space, and I adopt a good advisor, my 25, 30-year journey from here onwards can be very, very good. And so this conviction was strong enough for me to actually take the plunge. And the conviction was strong enough. B, I had enough data to support it. And so I think the first point I want to make to all of you is that we tend to underestimate the power of the industry that we are all part of. So while we preach to the clients and to the consumers, what we don't realize for ourselves is it's a very powerful industry. It's one of those rarest industries which allows you as an advisor, as a distributor, to make a one-time sale and kind of let that sale provide regular income for the rest of our lives. So it's just fascinating what all the mutual fund industry can do for us, and it's, but in my opinion, it's just the start. And yet there is so much distance that we can cover. I wanted to also talk about part of the conviction is the fact that I think India as a country probably is over the next 2 decades has the most promising aspect when it comes to investing. Of course, there are many options, and global investing, etc., are critical. But from where I see India, the next 2 decades could very well be the India decades. It's everything is starting to fall in place. And what I personally like most about the sense of investing in India is that if you choose your companies well, um, entrepreneurs, corporate India, CEOs do create wealth. So it's this engine of creating wealth supported by a great advisor coupled together can actually help Indians create wealth and thereby retire rich. It's I sometimes feel that the job of the role that you do actually helps Indians retire rich and helps actually it's in that whole format of making India a very self-sufficient, very self confident nation. Because if your financials and if your finances are not in order, as a country will always struggle. So your role, your job is actually not just to make some money for a few investors, it's actually to handhold them for the rest of their lives on this journey, which is why my conviction A on the product, B on the role is perhaps the highest. And like I started this conversation by saying that in some ways I'm kind of a representative of the conviction because I could take the plunge. The other thing that I just wanted to share with all of you is I can't emphasize more on the role of the distributor. You know, it's amazing that um, that the distributor to investor ratio is lower than that of a doctor to patient ratio, policeman to citizen ratio. So even after 85,000 IFAs, touch points for mutual funds, this ratio is still very low. And it just shows that if we got scale in our businesses, this business could really expand and explode, etc., etc., etc. And it's there that that's where lies the true story of the mutual fund industry. I think the scale will come. One of the things I wanted to also share with all of you is the role, and in that role I wanted to I wanted to again share my own personal story. I have a very strong distributor who I trust implicitly. It's a 25-year journey with him and his firm, and I realized that a distributor or an advisor is no longer an advisor. He or she actually becomes a family member. And I again, it's again what I'm narrating is very personal, and it comes from the heart. So many times, we measure our success by assets and AUM and equity and our revenues and fees and number of clients. I just want to request you, in the space of conviction, to add one more metric. Is the number of times you are invited to your client as a family member. Like, for example, weddings and anniversaries and birthdays, and even sad events like maybe a death or something. What you'll notice is that many times clients will actually ex- create that space that you become a family member. And that's the true role of an advisor, because it no longer becomes about financial assets, it becomes about life. And those are the areas where I think so many of us, both at IFA Galaxy and in the community, have now got 20-25 years of history behind us, that many times your own investors will look at you as family members, not just as advisors of assets. So many things in the conviction tick box. I can go on and on and on, but I really think that the service that you're doing for nation building, the fact that you can help Indians retire rich, and the third fact that you are no longer just a financial advisor, you're actually a family member. These three things for me are the highest importance when it comes to the role of a distributor in the lives of a customer or the lives of a client. And that for me is a number one issue of conviction. um, I think I'll step aside from conviction and probably go on to a bit of talk on collaboration. This, to my mind, is perhaps bigger and more important than anything else in your lives. It will personally and officially and in many ways affect you all directly, because the concept of collaboration is supremely important right now. And I'm going to give you two aspects of collaboration that I put through in my head and wanted to share with you. The number one collaboration that you all should seriously think about is collaboration for scale. See, the thing is that a lot of great advice, a lot of great distribution is available, but that gets restricted to 150 families, 200 families, max to max 300 families. How does 300 become 3,000, and how does 3,000 become 30,000? Now, you alone cannot do it. At best, you can hire a few people. That will also not make 300 go to 30,000. And that is why the point I just wanted to make is that the concept of collaboration right now is perhaps the most important one in your lives right now. And what I'm trying to suggest is, please look at collaborating with platforms very seriously. I've been saying this even when I was at Access for 10 years. I've been saying this. In fact, forever, I've been saying this, that the true role of a distributor or an advisor is to provide advice at scale. You can only do that when you stop doing everything else and only meet clients. And by definition, everything else should be outsourced. And today, India offers great collaborative options in the form of NSE, BSE, NJ, Prudent, so many great options when it comes to technology partners. My single biggest request to all of you is, please set aside all your apprehensions, please set aside all your egos, please set aside the fact that you want to deal directly with a AMC. All of this is irrelevant. Today, I can safely say that because I have there is no baggage I carry. So I can easily say that to all of you. If you really want to make a massive difference to your lives and to the lives of your customers, you will have to choose a technology partner. And in just four names, I just rattled out four names. You can have another six coming up, but the fact is, you have to choose at least one of them. I'm on the board of Prudent, and I've seen how well they've put the technology piece together. NJ was somebody that I've admired all my life. Brilliant piece that they built. BSE and NSE, you have seen for yourselves how well they've put together the technology piece for your own business. So, if there is a single message that I want to speak about in the collaboration space, it is this: please reach out to a technology platform. Cast aside your apprehensions that you'll have to share revenues and data privacy. All of those are irrelevant. In fact, those things don't matter. If you want to grow your business meaningfully, and if you want to make a difference in the lives of your customers, you don't have a choice. You will have to collaborate. That's the number one uh, advice I can give. The second collaboration I actually wanted to talk about is, even while I was in the AMC space, one of the things I noticed, actually notice is a very small word. One of the things that I felt was that the distribution community and asset managers were always fighting with each other. Uh, in fact, the last 3 4 years, it almost became as if it's a bit of a tussle between the two entities. And if they're supposed to be interlocked, they're supposed to be one, but they were always at loggerheads. And I think that's the space that you have to now open your minds towards: collaboration with asset management companies. Please remember, asset managers have there is no great intent for them to go direct. They don't have the capacity to go direct. They can't build 5,000 member sales teams. At best, they can go digitally direct, which they will. So to counter that, anyway, I'm suggesting go and use a platform. Once you counter that, then in the physical space, they have to use distribution. And I don't understand where this, this whole fight between AMCs and distributors is not taking us anywhere. It's just, it's just a constant accusation, and this, it's not. I mean, it's been there for 4 5 years. It's really not going to take us anywhere. And the reason why I can say this openly at IFA Galaxy is because you all are perhaps the most, mature set of distributors, advisors in the country. Perhaps you all can make the first move, perhaps reach out to AMCs and say that there are certain common areas, if we can at least come on certain areas where we can come together as one entity. I think that will really start to change things around. It's required not just for you and for the AMC. It's finally the customer has to benefit as well. And remember that the product is brilliant. So the distribution structure is in place. The product is brilliant. How can the two not be interlocked? And so that's my second point under the heading of collaboration. Reach out to AMCs and see if you all can sort these issues amicably, because the more we butt head with each other, the more it'll create friction, and it's really not worth it. In the I think the whole space of collaboration, if you really look at the essence of what I'm trying to say, is outsource. In-source only what is critical, and critical the critical aspect right now is sales. So the metric I use very often is that if you're a distributor or an advisor, what percentage of time are you spending in meeting clients versus what percentage of time are you sorting operational issues out? Today, my guess is probably 70% of the time goes in sorting issues out, or I mean, just barely 30% time goes in meeting clients. So that has to be inverted, and to meet clients you have to outsource everything else. So please take that message in whichever way you can. I just think that it can make a massive difference. 300 can go to 3,000, 3,000 can go to 30,000, and which is what the real story should be out here. Because remember, one of the things that is happening is that the entry barriers to distribution are getting tougher and tougher. So the existing distributors will gain the most. Why not take advantage of that? And to take advantage of that, you just can't be, restricted to 300 clients or 150 clients. That won't serve the purpose. So if AMCs are going direct digitally, you could you use the platform world, and in all other spaces try and collaborate with the AMCs to come to common conclusions. That's the second one when it comes to collaboration. So there's also the topic on consolidate. I think consolidation is something that, I mean, like I said, it's come at a stage where the industry is starting to mature. We can talk about the word consolidation, but remember one thing: in the mutual fund industry, in the asset management space where managing money was concerned, right from day one, it's been consolidating. We did this analysis when we were putting together the business for Axis Mutual Fund. I remember doing this 8-10 years ago. We looked at all the players that had come in and all the players that had exited over the last 25 odd years. So you'd be surprised, but 35 players had come and 35 players had gone. So the asset management space was forever in consolidation, and so many names had come in and gone, but so many new players have also come in. So I think in the asset management space, in the manufacturing space, the consolidation phase has always been on. I think the distribution community will start to see that now. It's already started. The reason for that is as clients spend more time with advisors and distributors, they will need the comfort that their assets and their advice can live for the next generation. Which by that meaning, either you all have a pretty good succession plan in place, or you have a team which will take over the advice and assets. Where if you're not around, you could very well say that I want to give up and just kind of enjoy life, which is perfectly fine. In that case, who handles your clients? So I think the space of consolidation is starting to kind of become very important in the distribution community. And the first signs of that are already visible. And my very good friend Amit and his team at Sapient are putting together these getting like-minded people together. They're merging assets, they're forming trusts, they're just doing all the right things so that A, there is continuity, B, there is consolidation of effort. I think that's where the key is. And the good thing is, it's very unique in India that associations have already got formed and they've already put together IFAs. So it's not as if this is something new for us. There's IFA Galaxy and there are 33 more associations. So there's already, the first wave of consolidation has already happened. What I really look forward to is for the core team at IFA Galaxy is to start, penning down whatever their observations are from the existing structures and start seeing how you all can help your members in kind of creating the next steps for succession planning as and when they want to leave their businesses, as and when they want to give part of the business to another owner, etc., because the time for that has come. It's not too far out. At max you have another couple of years till the time it becomes really critical. So why not make that effort now? And like I said, I mean, just repeating myself, there are some really good examples starting to come up in the mutual fund industry, especially in distribution. So you just don't need two banks merging or anything. Even the IFA community, it's starting to happen. In fact, now I'm based in Delhi, I got a call from 4 or 5 very good advisors and distributors. They just needed some help and advice on how to merge their 5 businesses together. It's just that I'm not an expert on it, but clearly, I found them doing the right thing. So they hired an external advisor. They kind of put the structure in place. And the common thing with all 5 was that they did not have any children. So all 5 of them wanted their clients to have someone to handhold them in their absence. I'm sure there will be so many such examples. It may not be about not having children. It could very well be that you, like I said, you want to just explore other options, live your life, or even just the fact that you want to plan for building a business over at a much larger scale. So I think while it's still maybe another 18, 24 months away till the discussion becomes very serious, why not start thinking about it today itself? So that's my two bit on the consolidation thing. I think one of the spaces that I have noticed is that in the world of consolidation, actually in the distribution community, MFD community, it's very easy because it's just so much like-minded people come together. In fact, there is no industry that I've seen where exchange of notes and exchange of ideas happens so rampantly between competitors. Finally, everyone on this call is competing with each other, but you all don't act like that. You all act like collaborators anyway. So the next step of collaboration is actually putting businesses together, which is consolidation. So, you're already 50% there. Why not look at it very seriously? And this is where perhaps like I said, the IFA Galaxy team and can probably look at best practices and kind of make notes and take next steps. But uh, I think in essence, the 3 C's, consolidation, collaboration, and the fact that you need to have conviction on this business will only happen with the 4th C, which I'm adding it on my end, which is the client. So all of these 3 C's are dependent on the fact that the client should be a happy customer. And I really don't see why it should not be so, because A, you're giving a great product, B, it's backed by one of the greatest things I've seen in the distribution community as a MFD or a distributor advisor, whatever you may call it, is that the client's interest is always center. It's not about earning the next revenue or the next NFO, etc. I mean, that's been my experience. So if the three are happening, if there is conviction, consolidation, and if you're able to collaborate, the benefit comes to the client. And if it's client beneficial, there's nothing that can stop your growth. So my final words on this would be that the 3 C's have been chosen very carefully. I think it makes tremendous sense, sign of maturity in the industry. I really can't see any other industry making such a huge difference in the lives of customers, such a huge difference in in their journeys. Like I said, you all are family members. My own distributor advisor is a family member to me. He's taken some of the toughest decisions with me, and he's been part of my life. Pretty much, he's like, I can't think. I mean, he also advises me. Let's put it this way. And no better country right now than to invest in India. Take a 20-year view. For me, long term is 20, 30 years. It's a young country. Our average age is 25. So if the average age is 25, 30, and then they have another 20, 30 years to go. So how can long term be 5 years for a country whose average age is 25 years? So we have the runway also. We have the runway, we have the capacity, we have a 25-year track record in the asset management industry. Everything is falling in place. Choose a good technology partner, merge your businesses if need be, and enjoy the mutual fund journey. That's from my side. Thanks so much for inviting me over. I'm truly honored. And next year, or maybe even before that, it probably would mean that we should meet physically and in person. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind.
That was a triple A on triple C, Mr. Karan Datta. Fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed the entire presentation. It was packed with so much conviction because everything came from your life experience. The conviction, collaboration. In fact, collaboration seems to be the buzzword today. Everybody is talking about collaboration, and Mr. Karan also emphasized the importance of collaboration, collaborating with your own fraternity, collaborating with technology, and collaborating with platform. That is the way to go, my friends. Please take important significance of whatever Mr. Karan Datta had to share with us, and I sincerely hope that this particular presentation made a lot of sense to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Karan Datta.